Hello, we're about to complete the Southern University at Shreveport's dual enrollment application. First, you will start on the home page. You have several options to get to the application. For dual enrollment, we would like for you to go to the offices and services, college access, and then of course the dual enrollment in early start web page. Other alternative options will be the apply now link that you see at the top of your screen. The apply to dual enrollment link or drop down menu is available here. We're going to click apply here. This will take us to the web admissions application. From there, you're going to click here on that page. Something's wrong with the browsers. Start over. Okay, office and services, college access, dual enrollment, apply and apply here. Okay, you'll receive the banner, self-banner interface. Once you're here, you're going to click apply for admissions. And as a new candidate for admissions, you will have to complete your initial application by clicking first time user account creation. Make sure you're not logging in because you shouldn't have a login. You should do a first time user. So if the student is new, it will be first time user. And so as we're completing the applications, we will most likely do first time user. If you have access to Banner 9, you can double check to see if the student is in the system first. But if not, if they're not, most likely want to try to give you students who are not, you're going to go to first time user account creation, and you're actually going to complete the application on behalf of the student. So you're going to create a password, and we'll say that our candidate is, well, I was going to say Kamala Harris. So I'm going to create an ID, and it says your pen can be up to 15 alphanumeric characters. Minimum of 6 alphanumeric characters are required. So your login could be whatever you want. And what we'll probably do is create a unified login for students, their first initial and their last name with the number 1. And then for their pen, we'll probably create a uniform pen. I'd like to use their date of birth without the 19. If that works. And their date of birth will be located in the information that you receive. All right, so it did let me in. Please be aware, sometimes it may ask you to say the password. Just say never on your screen so you won't have any complications in the future. Selecting an application type, this is the most important part. This is what makes it a little bit challenging for students because they're having to decide which application option. So without correct guidance, they may select the very first one, which says dual enrollment, but what does that say? SUBR, Baton Rouge. Because we are consolidated, we have every application in our system here. So this for a high school student, as you can imagine, and even maybe a new college student, it could be somewhat a little tasking to find the right one. So that's why I needed your assistance today, because I did want you to go ahead and make sure that we're clicking on the dual enrollment application versus the high school students out there clicking on everything. And then we have to clean up the data, which will delay our process this time around. So make sure, it's the number one thing, that you do look for the SUSLA, the SUSLA, dual enrollment application. That's the most critical part. Everybody got that? Great. All right. The admissions term will only provide us with the spring 2021, and that is strategic so that our students would not click on other terms. We have our student. Okay, now that you're here, we're going to fill out the application. The system will provide you with an application checklist. You want to make sure that you walk through all the areas. There are some sections that we can skip over. They're not mandatory, but we're going to take you through each one as we go. So I'll definitely start with my name. The student's name will be provided to you. Even if they have a middle initial, we would like you to put that in as well. Once you complete the data in the name section, you're going to continue. Everything that has a red asterisk, that's the indicator that must be complete. We must have data in that indicator. Anything that doesn't have the asterisk, you really don't have to worry too much about that, okay? You do have to put a student's contact number in there. And that will also be available on the link. So permanent address and phone number, this is pretty much all the information that you need. I'm sorry, you will, resident. Go ahead and put in please put in the parish. All of our students will be Caddo because they're BTW students. And you don't have to put in the nation if you don't want to, but let's see if the United States is in there. Okay. So this is how your permanent address and phone number should look, even though the asterisks aren't in those categories. We just want to, sometimes we sort by county and parish. For your mailing address, you do have to put an indicator. So you need to put the same address that the student may have. Here, once you put in your information already, it should provide you with some options. And so it did, and I was able to just click that data in there instantly because it did adopt the prior data. If the address is different, which it probably won't be for dual enrollment students, then of course you do that accordingly. If you do not have a number on any of the information that we provide you for the student, then go ahead and put this number, the main number to the school. Because this is, we'll clean up any data as we review students one by one once we get them registered. Personal information, citizenship. All of these students most likely are U.S. citizens. If not, it will indicate on the data we provide. Just making up something. The email address will also be provided for every student. If you don't have an email address for a dual enrollment student, then you can just put my email address, twilliams@susla.edu. I'm not going to worry about giving you the dual enrollment email address. We have to place an indicator in social. Every student must have a social in order to complete the admissions application, unless they are an international student. Okay, so I'm just going to put in the social. Okay. If you don't have a social at all, just put in zeros, but you have to put in a social, and we will have their social, and that information, of course, you know, is confidential, and we are dealing with minors here. So you do want to keep that in mind. They all should be residents, and that is pretty much all you need to complete in this section for a dual enrollment student. If they are Hispanic, if that's indicated, you can do that. And then ethnicity. Okay, so this is the personal information. Don't worry too much about veterans or anything like that. Plan of study. This is the most important aspect on a dual enrollment application that's unique to others. You do need to look for non-degree seeking. Please make note of that. All dual enrollment students must be non-degree seeking as their indicator, unless they are early college students, which they receive the Associate of General Studies, but these will not be early college students. So non-degree seeking indicator is mandated for dual enrollment. That's what provides us with our J and H code to sort our students in our master log. Everybody got that? Okay. High school. I should be able to provide you with the high school code, but we're working with BTW, so they're easy to find. You'll look up state, Louisiana. And then high school city, which will be Shreveport. I'm sorry, high school city. It should have Shreveport in here. If not, it's Caddo. Here it is. Okay. And then when you click on high school, you're looking for Booker T. Washington or BTW. Your Booker T. Washington High School will be the only school we'll work with. If we change anything or if there's additional students and you're assisting, I'll let you know the name of the school. So we're going to copy that information. So if you want to right now, you can go ahead and write down that code 192675. In that instance, you will just type in your code and you should be able to press continue and it will process BTW. So just kind of keep that in mind. Making note of that real quick. 19. And as you start doing an application or two, your system will automatically say, hey, is it BTW? So then it'll just start kind of plugging it in for you. Don't worry about anticipated graduation date. We just want to focus on the categories that have the red asterisk. Once you've completed this information, it should allow you to continue from the high school checklist to the next category. Here is asking for dual enrollment credit. It is asking for any college experience. For dual enrollment, if you notice, there are no red asterisks on this page, so please skip over this page 7. Don't waste your time on this page because they should not have any other additional college credit outside of dual enrollment at this point. So over to section 7, relationship. I even skipped this section because we do not have the student's guardian information. Once again, the guardians are working directly with the high school counselor in authorizing dual enrollment. So you can skip page 8 on the checklist or item 8. Now, additional information. Here we should say yes, because this is authorizing them to participate in our program. They've already received, they're completing authorization paperwork for us. So we can do that, and the counselor has given us permission. Okay, as you can see, I'm at the end of the application. All sections are checked. The only section you may have some challenges with, sometimes that name kind of messes up, but if you ever have any challenges, just go back to your checklist and then click on that section and kind of start yourself over within the system. So keep that in mind. You have the option to finish later. So if you get interrupted, you can finish later. You just have to remember the password that you set up. And once again, I'll create a uniform password that we all could use based on the structure, a particular structure. I'll come up with it. Application is complete. Now there is an admissions agreement. We're going to say we agree to the terms. The students are aware of the terms. And then mark complete. The application has been marked complete. There, Mr. Sosa told me about this part, that there is a section in here that he's not sure why it's popping up, but it's asking for a $75 application fee. And he's working with IT right now to figure out why that's there and to get that removed or whatever. So you can ignore this whole part and return to your application menu. Once you return to your application menu, you should be able to receive a confirmation based on submitted application. If it's not complete, it'll show you incomplete. Here, you can just click right back on the application. Okay. And that completes that student. So from there, you can return and you'll come back to your main options to get back to your apply for admissions page. But from there, admissions should now receive this student's name as they pull their daily report for new applicants. And then they will make the decision to determine if they can process the student. Now, dual enrollment students are supposed to automatically be processed. So they're on auto enrollment. And so that name will pop up today as we celebrate 1908, the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. Kamala Harris will pop up, Sarah Harris. And Mr. Sosa will try to figure out why she's there under dual enrollment, but I'll let them know. And that concludes our dual enrollment training. Are there any